Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope you had a good weekend. Back with a little knife content. Not even gonna call this bonus footage anymore, but I kind of wanted to talk about in the knife world what's hot, and more importantly, or most importantly, what's not right now. Obviously, with the economy being what it is, I have definitely noticed, and I've kind of bounced it off of a couple friends, just a huge change in money changing hands on the secondary market for knives. And I kind of started asking the question, and then you know tried to like keep my ear to the ground on like what knives were selling, which ones weren't, and like what were some of the deals out there. I mean, like, let me just basic line up front. If you have any what I call fun money to spend on a knife right now, you can do some damage. I mean, knives that used to be selling for $300, I'm sorry, knives that usually go for $300, I've been seeing them go for, that 150 mark, $175. So there's a lot of damage to be done if you have kind of, expendable income that you can part with. And I kind of like this again. This list is not comprehensive. Again, today's August 7th. So just kind of going through Facebook pages, I tried to like screenshot really great deals or kind of like what's going on in the market. And then also, in addition to that, I was talking to Devin, so Everett 17. We had some interesting conversations about kind of where the knife kind of market is right now, and like if you had $600, like you could do some damage. And so he actually ended up making a post to be like, hey, what's out there for $600? And I don't know. Like, I think it's a kind of a $600, and I was even thinking, oh, I'll do $700. See what's out there for 700. The guys, from what I can tell, that have those higher end knives, they're not really moving them. And I'm not talking like one-off customs. We'll get into that in a second, because if you have a custom right now, just hold on to it. Like, you're gonna take such a loss on it. Don't even bother selling it. But a lot of the feedback that or the posts that people were offering up, it was either like, you got your customs for $600, which for me, I'm like, I'm not interested. A lot of fixed blades too, not really interested in that. The other thing was just like, hey, like, here's 5 knives, pick any 3 of them for $600, which kind of defeats the purpose. But those guys that have those higher end knives that, I think what I was trying to tap into with a post like that would be the ones that normally go for about $1,000, $1,100, like, hey, $700, here you go. From what I can tell, those guys, for the most part, are holding on to those. So with that, like, we're gonna kind of go through a few of the examples that I have. Again, not a comprehensive list, just a few manufacturers that I like and I've kind of been on the lookout for. So again, not all encompassing. These are just the observations that I've made over the last week or so. All right, the first company that we're going to talk about is going to be Chris Reeve. And I've always kind of thought that Chris Reeve knives were recession proof, and certainly some people have not gotten the memo. I mean, people are still asking $100 over MSRP for a Zahn, for instance, but I don't know, like in the very recent past, and I have a few examples here, I'll post them, but certainly these blades still seem to be selling. Chris Reeve, like, if you buy one, have one, you might take a little bit of a loss on it, but they're still selling, which is that's a huge deal right now. Like, people actually forking over money to you for a knife. There's plenty of people that are trying to trade for sure, but as far as like, new money to invest into a knife, Chris Reeve, pretty good to go. However, there are some really good deals to be had. I'll post it right here. There was a Zahn that recently was posted for $475, which is really good. And then a small and Cosi posted right here for $260, and then a large Sabenza for $410. So certainly, I mean, like, some people are still asking $575, $600 for a Zahn, but some people are kind of taking the hint, or they just need the money, and so there's great deals to be had with that. The next one, and this one hurts me dearly, Spyderco, way, way, way down. I would say around May, this Shaman, so M4 Blade HQ exclusive, would fetch about $300, and there's multiple examples. I'm only going to post one because it really hurts my feelings. one of them just sold for $208, which is just like, that's crazy. I mean, it's a great knife. Yeah, I don't know. I should have held off a little bit longer, I guess, for it. I do love this knife though. Like I carry it all the time. But yeah, Spyderco, and for the most part, is definitely they're not selling too good, and that's punctuated by people that have modded knives. Those guys, I mean, if you have a modded Spyderco, titanium scales, new, whatever Damascus clip, hold on to it, because you are just going to take way too much of a loss right now. Like, unless you really need to sell it, hold on to it, because things are not going to get, they're probably going to get worse before they get better with that. So keep that in mind. The next one, near and dear to me, Half-Face Blades. I would venture to say, and I realize that like Half-Face Blades, they're not a super popular company, but two things happened here. One, the economy is just like absolutely in the toilet, obviously, like recession turning into a depression, I would say. Second of all, Half-Face Blades has been producing so many knives, especially their production runs. I mean, certainly their customs, they're still kind of limited on the weekends. And I honestly, like, a few months ago, I would definitely be into their drops, kind of seeing what was out there. I don't even, like, at noon on Saturday, I really haven't even been partaking in the madness, so to speak. But Half-Face Blades, they have been hit the most. Customs, from what I've seen, have been going for drop price, if that. We actually had a Cub recently, which, again, I don't know if you're familiar with Half-Face Blades, but I saw a Cub go for $2,300, which 6 months ago, people were asking $4,500-$5,000 for these things. So I don't know, that Cub, maybe someone scooped it up, whatever, but I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, you see that like lion on the side of the blade, and you expect to see, a mortgage payment, and no, they're $2,300 now. The other one, and this is probably the biggest hype debacle of 2022, correct me if I'm wrong, but the DEFCON Half-Face Blades collaboration, that knife cost $875 new. People can't get rid of them for $500 right now. There is 300 out there in the world, and people can't move them. This is the same knife that, within minutes of it dropping, people were asking $600, and in that first few days, they were actually getting that for it. But right now, there's one for sale for $500. I'll post it right here. The next one, and this is, it's an example of their production knives, but even a Featherlight, right? So I have a post right here. This one's going for $300. That was $350, $375 out the door all day. And 6 months ago, people would have been trying to get, and most likely getting, $500 for that. So Half-Face Blades, the volume is way up, and the people that have money is way down. So if you like Half-Face Blades, you've been thinking about getting into that nice, split ironwood, draft bone, whatever, now is the time to buy. Definitely pick one up. All right, the next company that I couldn't help but notice was Koenig, which it's no secret, I've said in my other videos, I have been trying to get my hands on an Arius just because I do want to try it, but if I got one, I would definitely want to use it. And I don't know, I don't like to use the term grail for Koenigs or anything like that, because literally if I felt a certain way or had enough to drink some night, I would just buy one. But I've always kind of I don't know, there's something about it that I just can't jump on board with. I would love to try one out first, maybe I'll love it, then I'll buy one. But Koenigs, the Koenig group that I belong to, ones that kind of used to be scooped up for about $900 to $1,000 within minutes. I mean, you had to be, Johnny on the spot. It was just, dumb luck that you would be able to pick one of these up. I've seen one, I'll post it right here. There was a recent full frame titanium Arius for $800, and it sat at $800 for about 12 hours. And someone did pick it up, and I think if you were in the market for a Koenig Arius, I should take my own advice. Now's definitely the time to get that as well, but keep that in mind. I mean, if you have been kind of jonesing after a Koenig Arius, now is definitely the time to pick one of those up for sure. All right, the next company that I wanted to talk to was Shiragorov, actually. And, it's no secret, I like Shiragorov knives. That being said, that Quantum Ursus that I have, which I forget what the retail was on it, maybe $575, $600, something like that. I have that thing for sale for $475, and I mean, I don't really care. Like, if I keep it, I keep it, kind of thing. I have been sitting on that thing at $475, where a couple months ago it would have sold immediately. The other one that I have, and this is just another post that I found, was this F3 NS. So it is that purple carbon fiber. So it's not for everyone, but still, I mean, asking $830 for that thing, that's $100 under drop price for a Shiragorov F3 NS. We live in some crazy times right now. That's another one that, if I was okay with the purple, didn't have an F3 NS, I would have picked that one up as well. The next one's going to be Berg. I'm going to post a picture right here. I actually ended up picking up this iron pup for $185 just this morning. I was super pumped about it. Hit Devin up immediately. I was like, finally got one, because I was talking to another guy in Everyday Blades that had one for sale for $260, and unfortunately it didn't work out. He only accepted Cash App. I don't have that yet. Apparently I need to get with the times. I just have PayPal and everything else except for Cash App, but couldn't make a deal. Glad that we did. And talking to this guy, and we'll get to this point at the end here, he really just had some bills he had to take care of, and that's why he was getting rid of it, and I was happy to take it off his hands. Like a Berg Iron Pup, after my experience with the Berg Iron Wolf, I've wanted to get my hands on one for a while, so I have one en route, which is pretty cool. The next company is going to be Spartan Blades, and more specifically Harsei folders. So I found pretty recently this Warthog Spartan Harsei for $450, which the special edition Harseis, the Warthog, the Plague Doctor, the Fur Tree ones, whatever, like, they've been going for over $500 every day of the week and really quickly. This one was priced at $450, like, looked great. I mean, he said it was, still had a factory edge on it. It sat for $450. So that's another one that, I mean, that's a great one. If you're in the market for a Spartan Harsei folder, now is definitely the time to buy. The next one, and this one hurt me pretty bad. Even though I did get a really good deal on my Curtis F3, I found the exact same Curtis F3 non-flipper and magna cut for $350. I'll post it right here. That's crazy. I think I paid $475 for mine, and that was a good deal. I mean, at the time when I bought it, they were going for $600 plus. Curtis has not held up throughout the recession. If you want a Curtis F3, love that. Pick one up right now. All right, and the last kind of knife company that I wanted to talk about was McKenzie, and more specifically the PM35, which is this in magna cut. I actually have two of them. I'm trying to trade one right now for a Chris Reeve in Cosi, but the carbon fiber one. We'll see if I can track one of those down. But I just kind of I think it's interesting, like McKenzie, like everyone seems to be getting their hands on these right now, and this is great trade fodder for me that I have two of them. But this thing, and it is just kind of, I wouldn't say like a hype thing, but everyone's kind of getting these, or testing them out and being like, oh my gosh, this is great, like this is a game changer, which it certainly is. But right now, this thing is recession proof. Like, you see these all the time. I mean, I think the MSRP on them is about $530, $550, going for $600, $650 in magna cut all day. They make a couple other versions of it, different steels that maybe go closer to that $500 mark. But as far as the magna cut one goes, like these have been really hot right now, but time will tell. I mean, nothing's recession proof, I don't think, as I haven't noticed any knives that are, so we'll kind of see where it goes for them. All right, and with that, we will wrap up this video. The main theme behind this is just, if you have the funds to buy a knife, it is a buyer's market. If you are a seller and you don't have to, I mean, obviously take care of your family, keep the lights on kind of thing, but if you can hold on to a knife right now and not sell it, definitely sit on it for a while. But if you have something specific you're looking for, some higher end knives, etc., I think you should be good to go. Like, I would definitely, green light to buy exactly what you want right now. I would just kind of be cautious, and I want to foot stomp this point. If a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. For instance, like when I bought that Berg Iron Pup this morning for $100 under what anyone was asking, I was definitely a little bit skeptical, but having that conversation, like, slid into this guy's DMs and was like, hey, like, do you have vouchers? Do you have whatever? Like, before you send any sort of money to anybody, make sure you're doing your due diligence, because there are a ton of scammers out there. And what's worse than, obviously everyone wants to get the best deal possible on a knife or something like this, but if it turns out that it's a Nigerian scammer, nobody wins in the end. So just do your due diligence and ask lots of questions. For me, at least, like, I'm not even like, I'll get on the phone with someone to talk about one of these knives. Or you can also really tell by someone's vernacular how they're responding or conversating with you. That goes a long way. So just be smart about it. But again, if you are in the market for any knife, now's the time to pull the trigger on it. And cool. With that, I appreciate you all tuning in. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, whatever, please throw them down below. I've definitely been trying to wrap up my content here, ramp up my content, as it were. So, if you enjoy these videos, whatever, would like to see more of something else, please comment. But we really appreciate your subscription to my channel, and we will see you next time.